Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investment. My name is Jose. I'm the founder of the company and brand here at Mastering Investor. Ensure to subscribe if you're new to our community. Turn on the notifications so that you know when we go live or upload a valuable video that can literally change our finances forever. It's all about applying the information that we're learning from our mentors. Remember, in the world of information that we live in, there are fake and true mentors. We have to be very careful who we listen to and what advice we take on, because we could be wasting a lot of time and we'll be losing grip of our destination. Always know our destination, wherever we are. And it's okay to be flexible, because we have to be able to change along the way. When we study the greats that came before us on whatever we want to do, and there are thousands and millions of authors and information that we can find out there that can literally make us a master on whatever subject we want. So let's not be procrastinating when it comes to seeking our knowledge, and understand that today knowledge is the new money. We're going to be speaking how to create our first $1 million in positive cash flow. You see, it's not how much money we make at the end of the day, it's how much we keep and how we make that money. Because a lot of people can make $1 million, but how did they do that is the real question. An employee of a company can make $1 million through bonuses, through working very hard, extra hours. Car salespeople can make $1 million if they work hard. But is that true wealth? It's not, because if we can't enjoy the $1 million because the person has to show up to work to continue to make money, then it's not really true wealth. True wealth comes from the ability to be free completely, to do whatever we want, to be able to thrive through passive income and capital gains income, and specifically passive income, because that's what creates true wealth. But since we're going to be investing in different asset classes and diversifying, every single member in our community at Master Investor and all of our mentors who have done great things in regards to the economy and when it comes to building business empires, right? A lot of people don't have a great economy in their lives, okay? It's all about creating our own economy when it comes to building wealth. It's about setting our lives where we're not working at all to pay for the bills. We have businesses and investments that are producing positive cash flow, or also known as passive income, which, as we know here in our community, is the lowest tax income that exists, passive income or positive cash flow. So the most important words in the business language are cash flow. And the second most important words are due diligence. So how do we make $1 million on positive cash flow? If you're watching this and you have a question, make sure you drop it below in the comment section. We'll come back and answer. We'll open a dialogue, and it's good for other people as well, because then we may be answering other person's question. Okay, so if you have something in mind, go ahead and put it down. It's feedback. And always have a thick skin when building wealth, okay? Because the world is going to give us feedback. And I want to also point out that we don't have to do videos to create wealth. We don't have to be the face of anything to create wealth. True wealth is created through investing successfully, and that investing doesn't require us to be there. It requires our knowledge, and we're going to be using a system of systems to sell something to the marketplace that is in need, is in high demand. We're going to find a need and fill it with a product. Specifically, we want to create products that we can deliver to the world without us having to be present while the transaction is happening. And that's why today creating an online website is very important for those who would like to start building true wealth and never made money while sleeping or creating any type of financial freedom. So remember, financial education is key when it comes to building wealth. We have to seek financial education. I want to invite you to read our ebooks, our digital courses. Make sure you click the link in the description. Go to our website. We have a newsletter where we publish an article. We receive it via email. So we don't even need to go to the blog when we subscribe to our newsletter. We read it as an email, and it's filled with financial education to inspire us to create more wealth successfully. It's going to give us a structure, the principles, integrities, core values, the context of the ultra wealthy. Here at Master Investor, we are more than an investment and capital management company. Our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education made simple. We're looking for opportunities to build passive income and true wealth. When it comes to business, we have to understand how to read financial statements. And the more we know about business, the better financial investors we are, period. Because investing has to do with business, okay? When we invest into anything, there's a business underneath solving a problem in the world. So, like I said on our previous video, what is the problem or problems that we would like to solve? What are our passions, right? Maybe we like to do 10 different things that we're passionate about in life. Now let's figure out how we're going to bring a product into that industry. And is it worth it? Can we solve more than 1 million people's problem with the product that we're bringing into the market? And we can learn from our competitors and innovate from their products without copying, innovating, creating something new and inspiring from something that is already here. Using less resources, bringing the quality up and bringing the price down, and be able to cover a bigger region in each sector in which we go into. So the point is that we can serve the 8 billion people in the world if they do have that problem. So hopefully we're picking a problem that 8 billion people in the world having. How do we know that? Well, let's do a test. We observe, we go out, we network, and we can see what people need by just looking and just sitting there and understanding that the world is always in need of something. People are always looking for a solution to some sort of problem. How do we position ourselves to create $1 million? Don't approach it forward. Let's reverse engineer. Think about how the United States and the most advanced engineers develop new technology. For example, they find and reverse engineer technologies from other worlds, perhaps. So they don't approach it forward. We have to study the end result and then start backwards. So how do we do it? If we divide $1 million in 12 months, that means is about a little over $83,000 per month. Dividing that by 30 is about $2,700 per day. Okay, a little over 2,700. And if we divide that by 60 minutes or by per hour, right? I think that's 115. I think it's 115 minutes per hour and $1.90 per minute that we must make in order to make $1 million in positive cash flow. Now, how do we see that perspective? You see how nice and how easy that feels in our soul and in our mind, how good that feels. It's achievable now. It doesn't look as far-fetched as it did when we just said $1 million, let's start right now with what we have. Let's think about how we can reverse engineer that number into small tasks. So if it takes $1.90 per minute, every single minute coming in, right, for the next year, that's $1 million in positive cash flow. Now we need a product more than a service, because yes, anyone can go out there and get clients to do their marketing. There are business owners that will pay thousands of dollars to do their marketing because they don't want to learn how to do it. They're not interested. And they have the capital to invest into a freelancer that is willing to do that part-time for them. Now, for those who are thinking, well, we could start a marketing agency that will now be in charge to hire other individuals, and then we just bring in the clientele. And there are a lot of people that's doing that. So when you go through a digital course, how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, click the link in the description to have access to that ebook and the assets that come inside of that digital course, which one of those assets is a financial statement. We also have a mutual agreement, but the financial statement is important because that's the first step to take. Download that into Excel and then fill it in with the numbers and the cash flow that we currently have today, our expenses, our income, our liabilities, our assets, and how the cash flow is flowing. And we're going to improve the assets column. We're going to improve the entire financial statement. We're going to take control over the cash flow. And every business or investment has a financial statement that we must also learn how to read, so that we can tell whether we want to go into that investment because it's a sound investment that will bring us positive cash flow and will bring the capital back, which we invested, if we invested any of our own capital. Because in many occasions, as we learn here inside of our community at Master Investor, the job number one of a wealthy entrepreneur is to raise capital. From the front end and from the back end. From the front end, meaning that we're building a business that is raising capital from the end user, from the customer. The customer wants what we have because they have a problem and we have the solution, and we put in that so easily in front of them that they can grab, purchase, and repeat. That is called targeted marketing. And we want to choose a niche that is scalable, that we can continue to grow on autopilot using a system of systems, because every sound business, as we learned here at Master Investor, is a system of systems doing the selling and telling for us. Okay, so making money from the front end and from the back end, meaning that the business is structured properly, following the laws, using tax intelligence so that we can minimize taxes, using the laws, the tax code, into our advantage. Because remember, as we also know, the laws and the tax code is a package of incentives for wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors like us. We have a team of professionals that can navigate the laws. We have a business attorney, we have a CPA, we have a bookkeeper, and we know how to hire and choose these people wisely, because not all professionals are for the wealthy. So the tax code is a package of incentives to help us minimize taxes. A lot of people think the tax code is to punish and some people feel great when they pay taxes. They feel like they're following the law. Now, if you're an employee, you have to pay taxes. There's no room to lower taxes on earned income, because the laws are not beneficial for the employee, because we live in a capitalist country if you live inside the USA. Now, a lot of the countries around the world also mimic how we act inside of the United States. So if you live in a capitalist country, you will notice that too. And anyone can become wealthy regardless of how much wealth we accumulate. The government cannot stop us as long as we're doing everything legally, presuming that we all do, because here at Master Investor, we understand that the highest reward of becoming a successful investor, a successful inside investor, an active investor, or better yet, a master investor, the ultimate investor. What we talk about, we explain the different levels of investors that exist. So when we speak about becoming an investor inside of our community, we're talking about the ensign investor, which is a master investor. It's an active investor. It's the one that puts the deals together. The ones that know how to raise capital. Those are the financial investors that we're speaking about. Okay, raising capital is our skill. It's our job. We raise capital and we multiply that capital into assets that produce positive cash flow, and sometimes capital gains income. But that capital will be multiplied through sound investing because we have financial education and we actively invest in it. No one is doing it for us. We are the ones in charge. We are putting the deal together. We are the chairman of our companies, and which is way higher, is the highest position of any company. The chairman is the owner. The CEO is not the highest. So I know a lot of people think the CEO is the top, but it's not the top. The CEO is still an employee. We're building true leaders, wealth entrepreneurs, and inside investors in this channel. So if you're watching this, you're becoming a master investor. We're thinking and acting like a master investor, all right? We're gonna learn the basics of money, business, and investing. We're gonna go back in history, take a look at the law, how it changed and evolved money, how today money is created. We're gonna master everything that we need to know about creating wealth so that we can communicate with the right professionals and build the assets column. So now, if we know it takes $83,000 per month to make $1 million, what type of business can we bring into the world, or what type of business can we acquire? Or we can also say what type of asset can we acquire that we can control with our companies, right? With a company that we create, or if it's an existing company, if we're acquiring that asset, is it creating after all expenses are paid, after all employees are paid? If it's a business, it has to leave us at $83,000 per month to make $1 million. Now, there's a lot of people that can make that very fast online by creating a digital product or using other people's digital products and advertise those digital products. Just create a sales funnel and bring in leads, because if we need to create $115 every single hour to create $83,000 per month, and that will equal $1 million a year in positive cash flow, we would need to have a product that we can sell from a different company that will pay us a commission on each sale, on just the commission on that sale. It might be even a membership product, meaning that we will get paid after that continuously. So that one product will bring us for the entire year whatever we're getting paid up front. So let's say we're getting 70% of the sale. So now let's say we get $50 for each sale because we're selling this digital course. And the digital course is something that we're passionate about. Maybe it's a subject. It could be health. It could be business. By the way, all of our products here at Master Investor, we're adding a referral program so that anyone that wants to share our digital courses and somebody clicks on the link from you, automatically you will get a commission, okay? We stand on what we teach and what we demonstrate in our community, so we're adding in each digital course the ability for our members to also create passive income and create cash flow from sharing those assets that we are acquiring here in our community at Master Investor, okay? So as we share these products with the world, it can bring us more than $50 per sale, meaning that all we need is 3 sales per hour to be able to create $1 million per year, $83,000 per month, and positive cash flow. When we get our digital course, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, Turn Passive Income On, and there we'll find references of other websites and different tools and resources that we can use to monetize other people's assets. So there are a lot of different products that we can find online in just about any company that we can think of. We can create sales funnels, and we don't have to show our face at all to create these sales. We can do it all on autopilot. In fact, we can pay somebody overseas to do it for us. Inside of the digital course, we explain step by step how to do this, how to create our first $1 million and more in positive cash flow. Everything is broken down in steps. There are 49 chapters, over 540 pages explaining what is wealth and how to create it today using the internet. So if it's something that sounds like it might be for you, if you're sitting there and thinking it sounds like I want, go ahead and click the link in the description. Don't be skeptical, as we know that can literally keep us away from great opportunities. When we are cynic, when we don't do due diligence, we don't lose anything by taking a look at it. So if you made it this far to the video, then go ahead and click the link in the description. Go inside our inner circle, invest in financial education. You will thank me later. And whatever asset we add into whichever digital course we get into, we will be grandfathered in, regardless of how much it will be worth in the future. Because in a year from now, the digital course of how to build cash flow with the internet will be worth more than it is worth today, because we will add additional assets. However, whoever gets in today will always be grandfathered into any asset that we add after our entry into the digital course for life. So imagine in 5 years from now, that digital course is going to be worth 10,000 more times than it's worth, more, or even more than that, right? Because we're adding exclusive interviews with wealth entrepreneurs and other investors that have succeeded in the topic of the volume. And also we're going to be interviewing new entrepreneurs and investors who are having success as beginners, so that we can get the new members who have never made positive cash flow through investing in capital gains income have their first sale be inspired by new beginners as well, because when we see new people doing it, then we also get inspired. So we're going to create a ripple effect of wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors. So reverse engineer the $1 million, begin to build networks that are powerful. Choose our people wisely, whoever we talk to, okay? We can go out there and network with everybody, but does that mean that we need to and everybody deserves our energy? Protect our networks at all times and choose wisely. We must have prudence when we take action in regards to investing, meaning that we need to take wise choices with our money. We need to figure out the best plan for ourselves and for our near future and for the far future as well. So be flexible in the way to the $1 million. That's the message, and reverse engineer any goals that we have, right? Because today $1 million, to think about it, is not that much in regards to how it was back in the day because of inflation. But inflation is our best friend because we have financial education. Here at Master Investor, we use inflation as a tool to make us wealthy, because we can get money. Again, our job is to raise capital, so we can raise capital for nothing, for free. And today, money is created with debt because the gold standard was separated from the US dollar back in August 15, 1971. 1972. President Nixon separated the gold standard from the US dollar. And at that point, money became monopoly money. In 1974, the petrodollar agreement was signed with Saudi Arabia, which now, as of, I think, this year, has been ditched, for lack of a better word. In other words, it's not been renewed. It's been broken. And that's what gave the dollar its power back. after the gold standard was separated from the dollar. That's why the dollar goes down on value since that was done, and the gold goes up in value because they're the opposite now. Gold is the real money. The dollar is fake money. It's just an idea backed up by confidence. Money today is created with debt, so we can literally and properly say that money is debt. Debt is money, and we must treat debt like money. And we also have to understand that all debt is tax-free because money is created with debt. So the law states that all debt is tax-free. That's why the ultra-wealthy, we love to use debt because we can minimize taxes. Even when we have capital, we use our capital to raise capital through loans. So if we have $1 million in capital, then we want to move that capital as soon as possible into a new asset. We don't want to keep that capital into our bank accounts because it's losing value. Remember, money will only maintain its value when it is moved properly from a cash flowing asset to another asset. And we must continue to do that. That's why our job as a financial investor is to multiply money in different assets, allocate money correctly in different assets that produce positive cash flow, and sometimes will produce capital gains income, because not all assets will bring us positive cash flow, or known as passive income. Some assets will only bring us capital gains income, and we will also learn how to minimize taxes because capital gains income is taxed at a higher bracket than passive income. Rule number one in our community here at Master Investors is that we work to minimize taxes. And rule number one, not only that we are masters, because if a master investor uses debt, learns how to use the law to minimize taxes all the way to zero legally, but rule number one is that we work to build passive income. If you ask majority of people in the world, they work to build earned income, or also known as ordinary income or active income, which is a type of income that the person has to exchange their time for money. It's called a job. Or it could be also a self-employed person who has a small business which becomes their job. They hire themselves and they still have to show up to make money. So we learned that in the cash flow circle. Inside of the digital course and ebook, you'll find the cash flow circle, and we explain each player that forms part of this world of money that we live in. And everybody's playing the game of money from the time that we're born to the time that we leave this reality. So we must master the game of money because it's one of the most important elements to do things in this life. And money can bring a lot of happiness to a lot of people. You can help out. Money magnifies who we are. So if we're good people, then when we have excess of cash flow, we are giving back, we're helping, we're generous, we're doing good things, we're investing money in assets and actions that will increase the well-being of humanity. But if a bad person gets hold of power and money, then look at history. Hitler, right? People that have gone crazy when they got to power and they have excess of cash flow. That's why self-development, working on ourselves, investing in our financial education, and going out and meeting like-minded people, reading as much as possible from mentors is key, because it's going to give us an edge that no one else has. Give us control over our emotions, how to think, how to project, and how to also manifest quickly, how to put it into action. We gotta do it. There are thinkers, and we gotta also combine it with the doers, right? So we're gonna be a combination of both. Those are the winners. We have to take action. So $1 million is $83,000 per month, and that's $115 per hour, and it is $1.90 per minute. $1 million in 30 years from now, 20 years from now, it's going to be worth a lot less than it's worth now because inflation. But again, we have assets. positive cash flow that can pay for any liability or anything that we want in our lives. And that's the whole purpose of having business and investments. So we don't worry about inflation because we have excess of cash flow. The 3 E's of a master investor: financial education, financial experience, and excess of cash flow. A master investor must get paid through passive income, must live through passive income and thrive. So wealth is measured in time, not just with money. A lot of people have money in the bank, they save their check, but they have no time, at least free time. We all have 24 hours a day, right? But they don't have control over their day. The entire year is taken by their boss and their company that they work for now. There are a lot of people that love their job, but there was a study done that says 80% of people dislike what they do, meaning that majority of people are disaligned with their purpose in life. There are great employees that we need them to stay as an employee. However, those people, we still encourage them to learn how to invest and how to multiply their money through sound investing. As they get older, they want to retire from their job and their profession, they at least will have enough and more income than they could ever imagine, because it's coming in from the real assets that they control. There are a lot of fake assets out there that people will sell to high-paying employees because they lack financial education. They believe in these sales gurus. They're not financial investors. They make money through commissions, and they encourage these high-paying employees to put money into, and not just high-paying employees, the middle class and also the poor class, to invest in fake assets like 401ks, mutual funds, CDs. It doesn't take any intelligence to give money to somebody to put it in a mutual fund. It takes financial intelligence to take our capital, raise more capital with that capital through a credit card or through a loan, and then using the totality of the capital that we have in the amount of debt that we acquire to acquire an asset that produces positive cash flow. And in this instance, $115 per hour, $83,000 per year, $1 million in positive cash flow. After all expenses are paid, that's our cash flow. That's what we're looking for, right? So what I say, $115 means in profits, not in gross revenue, after expenses are paid. When it comes to digital courses, when it comes to referrals on other people's products, even if they're physical products, usually it's more than $50 in profit, because all we have to do is deduct the marketing that we use to acquire that lead that turned into a sale. And if that ad brought in 10 sales in 1 hour, then now we are above our goal, which is $115 per hour. And there are a lot of high ticket items, meaning there are a lot of products that will pay a lot more just to bring in a sale. And there are a lot of companies that will pay just for clicks on their websites, so we don't even need to close the sale. The person doesn't need to make a purchase for us to earn a percentage just for them visiting the website. So make sure you go to our website, get our ebooks and digital courses. We have 3 books right now: the 10 new rules of money, how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on. That's a great book to start with. And we have how to invest in crypto to build wealth. We'll be releasing our 4th ebook very soon. Stay tuned. It's called How to Raise Capital to Build Wealth. And our 5th ebook, which will also be released soon after the 4th is released this year, which is going to be covering all the legalities of a successful investment portfolio, meaning that we want to make $1 million and more in positive cash flow through different asset classes that we have, but we need to keep that money working, and we need to maintain those assets growing, and we need to pick the right group of people and those assets, right? If we need to bring a new team member, we need to make sure that we bring in the right group of leaders into our assets so that they can grow and they can continue to expand and solve the problem which each business is set to solve. Every company must have a mission. Okay, and we talk about the 8 integrities of a successful business inside of our digital course, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, Turn Passive Income On. So make sure, click the link in the description, get inside of our inner circle, invest in our financial education, and start figuring out what is that we're going to do this week to make $115 per hour on autopilot without us working, by using leverage, other people's products, other people's time, using marketing, and using all the tools that we have right now in front of us, like our mobile devices and the internet. Today we can sell worldwide in one instant. In seconds, we can have hundreds of thousands of people looking at our ad, and we can bring in positive cash flow very quickly. Let's start building freedom units in our assets column. Acquiring freedom units, meaning real assets that are producing positive cash flow. Don't invest in fake assets. Fake assets were created for the financial illiterate. Make sure we get financial educated so that we can be actively investing. An active investor is the opposite of a passive investor. Passive investor is the financial illiterate individual. It's the one that gives their money to the fake assets, like the 401k, mutual funds, etc. The active investor is the financial investor who is a master investor, who is a student of financial education and is constantly investing and getting experience because we are applying the knowledge that we're learning. Knowledge is the new money, as I said earlier. So let's make sure that we get the right education. Financial education was not taught in schools because the school system has a mission, and that mission was instilled in it by John D. Rockefeller in 1902 or 1903, which states that they want to create 2 types of people out of the school system. And we talk about that in our community here to bring awareness, which the 2 types of individual are soldiers and employees. People that work for the corporation of the wealthy and people that defend the corporation of the wealthy, like the governments. And that is exactly what happens in the USA. When a person goes in high school, they get recruited to join ROTC, I believe it's called. And it's a class that teaches you about Army. And they begin to talk about the benefits of joining the Army and so forth. They start recruiting people at a young age. And people that come out of universities, they're looking for a high-paying job. And they're looking for benefits, they're looking for security. Today the world has changed. We live in a fast world of information. We have access to all the information. We have AI. So I call it the entrepreneur age. We have to develop that entrepreneur inside of us and bring the investor out of us to be a master investor. Everybody's dealing with money since we were born. Our parents are investing in us even before we were born. So money is an element that is as important as water and oxygen. We can't go far without in this reality. So let's master the game of money. And the only way to do that is invest in our financial education, start reversing engineer our financial goals, put a plan into action immediately, and receive passive income, because we need the excess of cash flow in order to thrive in the world and be able to fulfill our purpose. We have to have the control over our time and the free time to do whatever we want so that we can manifest our dreams. A lot of people never get to reach their dreams because they are stuck with bills and what we call the rat race. But it can be solved very quickly. Get financial education. One course can literally change our lives forever. We are always one sentence away to get to the next level. So don't take anything for granted. Don't underestimate people. We don't play by those rules. We don't want to underestimate a powerful person in front of us because we're judging a book by its cover. Let's take a look. Let's not be skeptical or cynic. There are a lot of powerful people that disguise themselves as nothing. So listen to the words that they say and then judge from their actions and their vocabulary, and make sure we're investing in self-development and financial education. That way we improve our vocabulary. The more words we know, the more we can control others successfully. No in a bad way, no through manipulation, leading people to success and well-being in all aspects of life. Remember the 4 pillars of an extraordinary life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Here at Master Investor, we help people understand how to create an extraordinary life. Click the link in the description. Let me know what you think of this amazing video. Share it with others if you find this powerful. And I will see you inside of our inner circle. Thank you for joining me today on this amazing talk. And stay tuned for the next talk. Click the link in the description. Turn on the notifications. Drop your question below. Give us some feedback. And now we know how to make $1 million in positive cash flow per year. We want to create and acquire assets. Don't just go out there and work for money, because it's very easy to work for money and make $1 million by being a freelancer and exchanging your time for money. Now, I'm not saying if you love to do marketing, maybe you turn that into your passion and you can help out other business owners in creating social media pages for their brands and so forth. Like I said earlier on the video, a lot of business owners do not want to learn how to do social media, and they're willing to pay thousands of dollars per month. The base is like $15,000. So if you charge $2,800, $5,000 to a business owner to do their Instagram and YouTube ads, then part-time, then all you need is 83 people to create $1 million or $1 million per year, because that's $2,700 per day. $2,700 per day is what we need in positive cash flow to create $1 million in cash flow. But people can make it as a freelancer by charging $2,700, 83 different business owners per month, and that will equal $1 million. So it depends. The person might not feel like they're working because it's something that they love, but if the person is making $1 million, then we can hire and delegate all of them, and all we do is bring in the clients, and we put a system that now brings in the clients on autopilot. We don't have to show up. The business is not named after us. We want to create true businesses that can work without us being present. So we highly recommend never attaching your name into your business unless you want to make your name into a brand. Create something else that is for the world. If it's for us, then it's a hobby. If it's for everybody else, then it should be a business. Okay, so let's think about what problems we want to solve, what are our passions, write down our destiny, our mission in life. Figure all these things out and write down our ideas and create a plan this week, right now. Take massive action. Click the link in the description. Get the total guide on how to create $1 million and more in positive cash flow and create true wealth. Start right there and let me know if you have any questions. Bring you the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in all economies. And we want to combine the thinkers and doers. So we want to be a thinker and a doer. We want to create, innovate, we want to daydream, but we also want to have structure. We want to be able to execute our ideas. We live in a fast-paced world, so what I can say is we must take massive action. Whatever, because somebody else will do it. So we need to catch early trends in order to capitalize and become ultra wealthy. And we can do it fast. If it's slow, then we suggest to change it. I'm not saying shortcuts. The only shortcuts that we suggesting is mentors. When we learn from other people that have been there or have done what we want to do or are having success in what we want to do, that's the only shortcut, because we're learning from them and we're avoiding mistakes that are necessary. And so But we don't need to get wealthy slow in today's age. Because of the technology, we can create wealth fast. Before, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, you couldn't make $1 million as fast as we can make it today and continue to grow, right? That's the whole purpose, to get to that $1 million in positive cash flow and keep that growing and multiply those profits, because all of our profits, our surplus of our companies, our bottom lines, our cash flow, after all expenses are paid, what we keep, right? We're going to invest into new assets in different asset classes. There are 5 asset classes that exist. Number 1, business. Number 2, real estate. Number 3, crypto. Number 4, paper assets. And number 5, commodities. They all require financial education, but in order to protect ourselves from down economies and inflation and hedge for inflation, we must diversify among the 5 different asset classes. So we build businesses and acquire businesses that produce positive cash flow, and that positive cash flow goes into real estate to acquire real estate, commercial real estate properties like this, residential, office buildings in big cities where there are jobs everywhere, right? I'm here in Miami right now, beautiful Brickell, and we use our businesses that are creating positive cash flow to get loans for these commercial real estate properties that also puts positive cash flow into our pocket. Now we combine all of that to get cryptocurrencies and create passive income with that, and also capital gains income, because on cryptocurrencies we only bring in capital gains income, and then we will use this profits from that to invest in paper assets, and we also create passive income with the paper assets and sometimes capital gains income. And now we use all of that profit to invest in commodities. So we diversify. We have different assets that are sound, working for us in different asset classes. So when the economy crashes in one economy or in one sector, in one market, and the paper assets, then we still have businesses that are providing solutions that, regardless of the economy going down, those businesses still produce the solution that the world needs. And so regardless of the economy going down, those businesses are still producing positive cash flow. So at the end of the day, becoming wealthy takes courage, effort, a shift on our context, going in deep into our core values, changing our belief system about money, taking massive action right now, using our tools that we have available, taking advantage to communities like MASTERINVESTOR, and reversing engineer anything that we want to do. We have to reverse engineer our goals, right? Start from the end goal and then go backwards into it. It's a lot easier, trust me. That's how we do inside of our community at MASTERINVESTOR, and it works. So make sure you take the step. We have to have faith. We have to, and investing is all about calculated risk. So the more financial education we have, the less risk we will have, because we know that the investment is going to succeed because it has the integrities. We know how to read financial statements. It's a true asset, right? We go into it 100%. We're not gamblers, which a lot of people that call themselves investors are gamblers. They are traders. They don't invest for passive income. All they do is give their money away, and they say and pray that it's going to go up so that they can sell to make a profit. So we're always going to have a plan for our capital. As we get our capital, even before we touch it, even if it hits our account, that surplus is going to be designated as an expense into a new asset that will produce passive income. So we get everything for free. So when we want something, we first think of an asset that will create passive income to pay for that liabilities expense. And everything is free at the end, because we're also using other people's money, the bank's money, to acquire assets and invest. So we can legally position ourselves to recoup our initial capital invested back from any investment. It should be like that. And get the return on investment coming, which it will turn into an infinite return on investment. When we recoup our entire capital back and we still control the asset, and the cash flow, then that is infinite return on investment. That's the holy grail of investing. We want to have no money into the asset and still collect passive income. That's a cow. That's a cash cow. That is a freedom unit. That's a true asset. Is printing money for us legally. Anyway, talk to you in the next video. Thank you for having me and spending this time with me today. Stay extraordinary and wealthy. Bye for now.